Yo, you must embrace pressure. That is the biggest indicator of whether you will win or not, right? I'm going to say it one more time. You must embrace pressure. That is the biggest indicator of whether you will win or not, right? Now, let's get right into how that works, the mental frames and the mental models of why this is important, how to embrace pressure, and how to continue to embrace pressure. And then I'll segue into a few different topics and share a few stories as well to kind of back the proof of how I currently, deal with pressure and how I continue to deal with pressure. Right? It's not always easy, but it's a learning process, right? So of course, right before I get into the video, for those of you who don't know who I am, or if you are new to the channel, my name is Duno Clenor, and I am here to help winners win. Duno, like the game Uno, but with a D in front of it. That's my first name. So if you are a winner, that means you hate losing. Winners focus on elevating their lives and want to become more financially free. So if that's you, continue watching. I'd also like to go over what's called the gentleman's agreement. So if you've watched 2 or more of my videos and you are enjoying the content, please subscribe. So now let's get right into the main topic of the video. And I'm actually going to read a little bit of a quote that I heard earlier today that goes along with everything that I've been stating, as well as with this topic, as well as with a lot of the videos on my channel. So it says the greatest difference in competing or winning is the ability to handle pressure, right? Run towards it and manage it. So that quote, why do you think, I'll read it one more time. The greatest difference in competing or winning is the ability to handle pressure. That's not by coincidence, right? You look at the best businesses, you look at the best sports teams, you look at the best people, right? The best people in any career, in any field, in any industry, in any sporting event, right? The most successful are the ones who can handle pressure from fans, pressures for businesses, pressures from clients, pressures from employees, pressures from other businesses trying to take your spot, pressures from other companies, pressure from lawyers, constant lawsuits, right? For any of you who've read Donald Trump's book, you know, I'm losing the name of the title of the book is phasing, is fading me. I'll bring it up for you guys. Bear with me, give me just 15 seconds and I'll bring it up. So The Art of the Deal. I don't even need to look at it. I think it's The Art of the Deal. If I don't have that correct, I'm gonna just double check myself because that book is actually super, super solid. The art, the art, the art, the art. Yeah. So yeah, The Art of the Deal, right? He stated in that book how often he has meetings with lawyers about lawsuits, right? And that ability to handle pressure comes consistently, right? For everyone, the more successful you become in business, you need to keep this. This actually happened to a friend of mine recently. Dude literally got, I don't think he was getting sued, but lawyers had to come into play. I don't know 100% the full story, but he's starting to reach numbers where that is starting to happen. And it's only going to happen more and more the bigger you grow, the more money you make, right? But your ability to manage and deal with that stuff is what's going to determine whether or not you stay successful and continue to become more successful, right? And one thing I did in a past video, I'm actually going to do it for you guys in this video. I've slowed it down so it's not as distracting, but essentially, I've got my like wallpaper in the background for you guys. That way you guys can take a look at it and it keeps you guys hopefully entertained while you are watching this amazing piece of content. Of course, you guys are also free to play these at 2x speed. You know, well, up to you guys. Let's get back to the main topic of the video though. So you look at the best businesses, the best sport teams, the best people, right? The ones that can handle the pressure, that thrive under pressure, that don't run from the pressure, but run towards it, right? Those are the ones that are often the most successful, if not successful, right? Like they're successful, they win. But the more pressure you can handle, the more competitors you're willing to go up against, the more teams you're willing to dribble through and just handle the job by yourself, or your team is able to handle that job, your employees are able to handle that task with you because you're leading them down the right path, well, guess what? That determines how successful you guys will become as a company, as a team, regardless of the competition that you guys are going against. That is a Bentley, for those of you wondering. And to kind of continue on that same topic, right? This also has to do with your risk tolerance and trusting yourself, right? And the ability to to handle pressure, to thrive under pressure, and you're not running away from the pressure, but you're running towards it. That is a privilege, right? To be able to do that, it's a privilege. But that's why when you have that ability, you learn that ability, you start to get better with that ability, you master that ability. That's what allows you to inevitably become a winner, to inevitably win, to inevitably become successful, right? Where regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the situation, you still become successful. You still win. You still become a winner regardless of the circumstance, right? And a lot of this has to do with your risk tolerance as well as with trusting yourself, right? Whether your risk tolerance is high or low, your ability to trust yourself needs to be up there, right? You have so much trust in your skills. You have so much trust in your ability, your confidence in yourself, your confidence in your skills, your confidence in, your team, your confidence in your partners, your confidence in your relationships, your business relationships, your athletic relationships with your trainer, right? You trust your trainers to always get you back in shape. You trust your doctors to always make sure that you're healthy so that you can continue to compete at the highest level, right? A lot of these top athletes, top business people, they are doing something different. They have the best doctors to help them, tune in their mental, tune in their body, their physique, right? To make sure that they're able to perform at any situation, right? So why do you think a lot of these top level millionaires, even billionaires, they live longer? Because they get access to better healthcare, but not just paying for the best doctors. You're also paying to get the right nutrition, to make sure that your brain is operating at high capacity all day, every day, right? Some people do it with coffee, right? But it also happens with the type of diet that you are consuming, right? Now, something I do in a lot of the videos is, we acknowledge the fit a little bit. It's nothing too crazy. This is a navy blue turtleneck, black suit, jacket. You could wear black pants, you could wear navy blue pants, you could wear blue pants, you could wear red pants. Really depends on your go-to. And then, I've got the lime green and white pocket square. I've got the black face with black leather watch, and you could, wear this with black shoes. If you want to go bold, you could also wear this with some dark brown shoes and dark brown pants as well. It kind of highlights it a little bit. And if, you want to throw on a chain, you could also throw on a chain to look a little bit more, sparkly. But, let's continue, right? Like on that same topic of risk tolerance and trusting yourself. That is something I don't want to say struggle with, but it's something that tends to get in the way of me a lot of times. And I'm starting to get over it, and I'm starting to win over it. But a lot of times other people's insights, other people's opinions start to sway my trust in my own skills, my trust in my own confidence, my trust in my own abilities. And it's not with everything. This has to do primarily with business decisions, and this has to do with marketing decisions. This has to do with just money making decisions, right? A lot of times I'll seek somebody's insights, and their insights are important. Their insights matter, but those same insights, they do lead to self-doubt sometimes on whether or not I'm making the right decision. But this is where that risk tolerance comes into play. This is where your ability to not only trust yourself, but your risk tolerance comes into play, right? Because me personally, I'll admit to this, right? I do have a gambling problem, but they are calculated gambles that I'm making. And that gambling problem isn't, like casino type of gambling. It's more like with the goals I'm after, with the business I'm in, with the career field that I'm choosing to do, right? Like I'll go all in. I'll make a decision, I'll flip a coin, and I'll go all in on that decision. And I do this, I catch myself doing this all the time, where I just go all in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's worked way less than it's worked, right? I'm not gonna say it's a positive outcome. history happens where, yeah, I've gone all in for months on end, like 6, 7, 8 months on something, and it doesn't work out. And I continue to do that to this day. Why do I do that? Well, I think part of it is I'm after the epic story, right? But also, I understand that committing and going all in is necessary a lot of the times to truly win, right? Now, is it a risk that I'm choosing to take? Of course. Have people advise me against doing that countless times? Of course. But I also understand that I need to make things work regardless. A lot of times, depending on what I'm choosing to do. Like this current, I don't want to say opportunity, this current business model, business venture, joint venture, partnership that I'm currently building right now, I have to go all in. My personality type is to go all in. Why do I go to the gym at 2, 3 a.m.? It's me going all in. Like, you could see, look at this, the way this turtleneck is fitting on me now. Like a year ago, these turtlenecks were not fitting the same way where you could see my chest. Right? So I go all in on a lot of the things that I'm doing. So me going all in on this current business venture, this current joint venture partnership, blah, 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 blah. I'm going all in because I understand the potential outcome, right? It's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm also 22, right? The types of responsibilities that I'll probably have later on will limit the types of risk that I can take and that I should take. But currently, these are the risks that I am willing to take. I am going all in because I understand that me putting all my effort and energy as much as possible into something. Now, of course, you got to make sure you have contracts in place. I've done that before where I didn't have the right contracts in place. And of course, I'm not going to say I got screwed over, but it wasn't outcome that I wanted because I did not have the right contracts in place. Now I have the right contracts in place, and that plays a role, right? That plays a role in me further committing 100% of my time and energy as often as I can into this. Do I have other clients? Of course. Do other people come and try to work with me? Of course. But this main venture is my main priority, right? Ensuring that, this is getting the outcome that I need. This is getting the outcome that I want, right? And a lot of times, a lot of these calculated gambles that I do, whether or not I get the result that I want is determined on, my consistency on a long enough time horizon. My consistency, my commitment to making sure that it works on a long enough time horizon will determine whether or not this scales properly, whether or not this works out, whether or not this blows up in my face, whether or not this blows up in my face positively in the right direction financially, right? But that is a risk that I'm willing to take. I've done the calculations. I do calculations all the time. I'm also an overthinker, but I also understand that it takes trusting yourself to be able to handle the pressures of failure, but also being able to handle the pressures of winning. Because it's a double-edged sword. You win, that brings a lot of pressure because now you have to compete with everybody else that's already at that level. You create a new business today, you're competing with other people that are at the same stage as you, right? You start a new agency, you start creating content in a cooking content, whatever content you're creating. Best believe you're competing with everybody else that's creating that same type of content, everybody else that has that same type of business. So it's not all, let's say, yeah, let me start this business and it's going to be successful. Nah, none of that happens that way, right? And of course, even with the background, you guys got to let me know in the comments whether or not this is good, you like it, it's engaging, blah, 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 whatever, whatever makes sense for you to say. If you are currently still watching the video and you've made it up to this part in the video. But, you have to be consistent on a long enough time horizon for anything that you're doing. Fitness, business, sports, music, whatever career you're going after, to truly see the success that you want to see. And if you are really honest with what you say that you want, you need to be consistent on a long enough time horizon in order to see the results. And believe it or not, a lot of times this stuff is going to start to, it's really going to start to compound over time, right? It's going to start to snowball like crazy. And the more momentum you put behind it, or the more snow that the snowball starts to pick up, the bigger it's going to get, the faster it's going to start to roll. And the steeper that hill, the faster that snowball is going to start to roll. And so you could look at success like that, right? I remember seeing this success thing a while ago. Let me actually see if I can draw this for you guys. What can I use? to draw for you guys. I think it's called paint, right? Paint. Let me see. Paint. No, it's not called paint. What is it called on Apple? Let me see. What is it called? Give me just 15 seconds to find it, guys. You could 2x through this part of the video if you want, or double tap. I wouldn't double tap, but let me see. Freeform. Is it freeform? I think it's freeform. Let me open freeform real quick. Okay, so let me actually draw this diagram for you guys so that you guys can see it and it makes sense for you guys the way that I'm picturing it, and so you can also have a much clearer understanding of all of this. So let me bring this into the middle, and then let me see. Okay, that's texting, that's this stuff, this is sticky notes, this is images, this is files, this is a new one. But it's not letting me draw. Okay, so that's a problem. Delete. Okay. You could double tap, guys, trust me. All right, there's no pen. There's really no option for a pen. That is crazy, Apple. There's no way there's no option. Oh, it's right here. There we go. All right, we're back. Okay, so this is the graph of entrepreneurship. I don't even think this is a pen. Okay. Anyways, so I can work with that. So let's use text. Oh my goodness. All right, let's use text. So you got the beginning of your journey, right? You've got over here. Can I type? Okay. And they each had titles, but I forgot the titles. And I won't even call it middle. Let me just say this. Let me do this. And then let me do this right here. Bring it a little closer. And then let me do it one more time. Right here. Okay. So now, for the most part, your journey in entrepreneurship is going to go like this. I'm going to just use this because I'm pretty sure it's not going to let me draw like a circle or anything like that. Yeah. So let me do this. Bring this here for you guys. Bring this up here. Okay. And now let's do a straight line like this. Okay, like that. So this is essentially how your journey in entrepreneurship, and not even entrepreneurship, but in everything that you're doing is gonna go. I should have used Miro to do this, but essentially it's gonna be like this, right? You're gonna go a long time without seeing any results, right? And I'm gonna just keep this here like that. So you're gonna go a long time without seeing results, right? Then Command C, Command V, right? Then all of a sudden you're gonna start to get some results. It's not gonna be a lot, it's not gonna be massive, but it's gonna start to be like this, right? You're gonna get result right here. So don't worry about the ones going down, just worry about whatever's above this line. Let me see if I can actually give it a color. I don't think it'll let me give it a color. Yeah, Apple, this thing sucks. It should have just made you allowed to draw. There's no reason why you're not allowed to draw. But anyways, let's do this. Make this red. Perfect. All right. So don't worry about anything under the square. Now you've got, you're going like this, and then you get a little bit of a win. So it's a little bit higher, right? You get a win, but then you lose again, right? And then, let me actually do this. Copy this one. Put it like this for you guys. Put this here. put this here. There we go. Put this just like that for you guys, right? So you're gonna go like this. It's gonna start, you're gonna be on that high spirit where you're like, wow, I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. And then not winning, but you're learning new things, and then boom, you crash and fail. And then, oh, you get a little bit of a win. Then this is actually gonna duplicate a couple of times, right? So it's gonna be like up and down, up and down, up and down, if you're staying consistent with what you're going after, right? If you keep starting something new, you're not gonna see this. It's gonna take a lot of time before you see this. Then it's gonna get to a point where you have a really big win, but then you crash really like this. So literally you're gonna get a big win, and then boom, you crash down, right? And for some people, they don't come back, and they just, they'll go for a normal job, they'll do this and that, right? And I'll actually share some stories with this stuff for myself as well. That way you guys can have a better understanding if you're still watching up to this point in the video. Of course, thank you for staying along through the little technical difficulties. Then you're going to go like this. Then you're going to go like this, right? Now pay attention to this. The red line is literally rock bottom, right? So the red line is rock bottom. If it even lets me flip this, there we go. So you're gonna have that rock bottom point. It's not even, there we go. So like that, and then let me bring this up. So you're gonna go like this, where you're gonna go to this red line, right? And for some people, that red line is debt. Some people, that red line is a lot of debt. Some people, that red line is just starting with no money in the bank again, right? Like you spent all your money on this business venture, now you're starting from $0. Some people, it's debt, right? But you'll have some wins, you'll have a bigger win, and then you'll have a really big win, and then you're gonna crash, right? But then what's gonna start to happen is, as long as you're able to come back from this and you're still committed to achieving that goal, now you're gonna get closer to winning. You're gonna start to pick up pace again. But now, as long as you kept the lessons and you are learning from your story, you're learning from your current journey, you're gonna start to win like this, and you're gonna start to win more and more, right? And you're gonna start to win more and more. But then if you're not careful, you're gonna drop again, right? And then you get to a point where the winning, it just goes up and up, and you just keep winning. You literally just keep winning, right? So I'll bring this like that. So you literally, you make money, you drop a little bit, you make money, you drop a little bit, you make money, you drop a little bit, and then you just keep on winning, right? So I'm hoping you guys are understanding this diagram that I made. But essentially, this is the journey of entrepreneurship, right? Let me actually make this line also red so that it's clearer to you guys. So let me make this green. Let me make this blue. Like that. And then I could actually do this so I can block these ones out. So I'll do this. So the ones didn't even matter. So I could do this. Now it's easier for you guys to pay attention to the lines that I'm talking about. We'll do that, and then I'll make this black so that it's like that, and then I'll bring it up to, yeah, just like that. It's not even a straight line, huh? Anyways, so it's just like that, and then this line doesn't matter. Yeah, that line doesn't matter. So if you go below this green line, I'll actually make it red instead of green, right? And then these are you, right? So don't pay attention to, I mean, it makes sense. Don't overthink it. You guys should be understanding what I'm actually talking about in this video. But essentially, if you're still paying attention, thank you again. As we're going through these technical difficulties, I'll probably use Miro the next time I'm doing a diagram like this. But essentially, if you're looking at this, this is what your journey in entrepreneurship is going to be. And this is how it's going to look in 1 year. It's still going to look like this in 2 years. It's still going to look like this in 5 years. It's still going to look like this in 10 years, right? But the longer your time horizon is, the more of these you're going to have, right? So even if you make your first $10,000 cash collected, you're still going to have that big pitfall. So for you, that $10,000 day could be here, right? And I'm actually going to, let me add one more of these so that it goes higher than that one. So you have this one where it's like another massive win, right? And this will continue to happen over, this is going to be so stupid, over and over again throughout your entrepreneur career journey, whatever you want to call it, right? So it's going to keep happening. And the longer your time horizon is, and I can actually bring this down a little bit too. The longer that time horizon is, the more of these you're going to have, especially the more ambitious you are, right? And if you pay attention to this, right? So you started here, and this isn't money. This is your skills. You're developing the right skills. You get to a point where your skills are so developed that a lot of these, let's say, bullets of failure will not affect you, right? And a lot of this has to do with your ability to manage pressure. A lot of this has to do with your risk tolerance and your ability to continue to win under pressure, right? Let me actually lower this a little bit so I can pay attention to everything I'm doing. Yeah, so this should be good like that. And then let me actually make myself bigger for you guys. That way you guys aren't too distracted by the amazing cars in the background. If you've watched up to this point in the video so far, type diagram in the chat or in the box or in the comments. Trying to send this. This should be good. Yep. Okay. So a big portion of all of this is making sure that you are doing what needs to be done, right? That's what gets you from one step to the next step, right? And a lot of people won't pay attention to this because you don't actually analyze your skill sets. You're not actually analyzing every stage of your let's say career field or marketing or anything like that. You're not constantly looking back at why you're making these decisions. Why are you making that decision? Why are you making the positive decision? Why are you making the negative decision? Is it because somebody else is pressuring you to do it? Is it because competitors are pressuring you to do it? Is it because you're afraid of their marketing? They're marketing more than you. They're spending more than you, so now they're reaching their clients better than you, and you're trying to get those same clients, but because they're spending more than you, you're not able to compete. You're not able to compete with them. Right? So why are you changing your marketing? Why are you changing the colors of your brand? Why are you changing your marketing message? Why are you changing your product entirely? Is it a logical reason? Is it an emotional reason? Right? Your ability to manage and handle pressure, right? Why are you changing the way you dribble? Why are you changing the way that you shoot the shot? Why are you changing the ways that you take free kicks, right? Depending on if you're an athlete or not. Are you doing it because of a logical reason and you made a logical choice and decision that you want to get better? And so you're improving, or are you simply changing directions because of somebody else's opinion, of an opponent's opinion, right? Of your shot. They told you, oh, dude, that your shot sucks. Okay, does it actually suck? Or like, if you're actually scoring, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? And now, can you be scoring better if you shot differently? Of course. Now you made a smart, logical decision. That's not really too emotional, right? And same thing with this, with these lines. So you started like this. You're learning skills. You're not making money fast enough. So some people, it's 6 months they spend here. Some people spend a year here. Some people can spend 5 years here, right? And now let me actually do this. So these will actually be different benchmarks for some people. So let me do this, and then let me bring this like that as a straight line, and let me make it blue so that it doesn't blend in with any of the other ones, and you guys are still able to follow along. So we've got this here, right? Oh yeah, class is in session, trust me, right? And then we've got one here, and then we've got one here, and then we've got one here, and then we've got one here. Again, feel free to go through this section of the video at 2x speed if it helps you guys with bad attention spans actually get through this video. The reason my videos are long is because I am after the people who are willing to sit through and watch a video, because I understand that you're not just after the quick high, you're after the underlying lessons. You're actually here. You're not just here for the quick win. You're like, you want more, right? You're really after the value behind it. And for the most part, I hope you guys are finding value behind these videos. So yeah, this red one should count as the next one. So these or that's why I had the numbers. So this someone could be in here for 5 years. Somebody could be there for 10 years. Somebody could be there for 20 years, right? It's all dependent on you. How quickly are you picking up your lessons, and how quickly are you coming back from the losses, right? It's not the same for everyone. Some people take a lot longer than everybody else to get through a certain phase in their career, in their field, in their domain, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all dependent on you, right? Look at this amazing diagram I just made. Of course, this is going to mess it up. There we go. So you look at this, right? Some people will spend 5 years here. Some people will take 5 years to get here, right? From here to here, they'll take 5 years. Some people will take 10 years to go from here to here. Some people will go from here to here in 5 years, where they're just stay steady growing, right? This works for fitness. This works for business. This works for literally athletes, whatever you look at it as, whatever your field is. You will go through these ups and downs, and it's your ability to manage and handle the pressures that come with these at every stage that's going to determine whether or not you are successful or not, whether or not you continue to succeed, whether or not you continue to win and win and win and win and prosper and prosper and prosper. And of course, this will be determined on what you consider as a win. What do you consider as a win? What do you consider as a benchmark? Right? Is it you made 5 shots in a game? Is it you made 10 shots in a game? Is it you made 15 shots in a game? You took 15 shots compared to making 15 shots, right? What are you considering as wins? Is it making your first dollar online? Is that a win? Is it making your first $10 online? Is that a win? Is it making your first $100 online? Is that a win? Is it making your first $1,000 online? Is that a win? Is it making your first $10,000 online? Is that a win? Is it making your first $10,000 in a day? Is that a win? So all of this is determined by you. What you're considering as your wins, what you are considering as benchmarks for you, what you are considering as competition for you. Because a lot of people will say, oh, I don't pay attention to the competition. I don't study the competition. Well, I think it's extremely important to pay attention to the competition, whether it's you doing it or you're someone else on your team doing it. Because when you can see where your competitors are shortcoming, right? When you can see their shortcomings, when you can see where they're lacking, where they are losing, where they are not doing better, you can do better there. So if their product isn't that great, make your product greater. Because if you're both spending the same to get the same types of clients, but you have the better product, you're ultimately going to win. Because guess what? Now your customers are going to start to spend, like that word of mouth is going to start to spread about your product compared to theirs, right? So they don't have an excellent product, but you have an excellent product. And so now you're able, if you're both spending the same amount of money on marketing, you're going to overtake them on a long enough time period, right? On a long enough time horizon. So it's entirely up to you how you go about these things. It's entirely up to you on how long you go through this phase. Sometimes it's all dependent on your mental ability, right? And so the reason I'm actually copying this one as well is because for some people, it goes like this, right? So it goes entirely like that. And let me make this like this because, the little perfectionist side of my brain. So some people, depending on where they are starting, their parents, did they get a loan? Did they get a business loan? Did they have credit cards? Did they have good credit? Did they have previous sales experience, previous marketing experience, right? Which is why a lot of times it's not good to compare yourself with other people. So they could be starting here, or it might look like they're starting here, but they're actually starting over here, right? Now, some people could be starting here, the same place as you, but because of the way they were raised, the types of mindsets they got from their parents or from, an adopted parent or from a teacher or whatever, that allows them to go from here straight to here. And they don't even have this many amount of, ups and downs. It's a steady growth rate, right? I've seen it with different coaches of mine, right? Where his business stayed steadily growing. Like his Stripe account, it never had like massive pitfalls. His Stripe account was literally little bumps, little bumps, little bumps, little bumps, little bumps, all the way to his first million and 2, 3, 4, 5 million. Whereas other people, their Stripe account is like this, it's like this, it's like this. And so it's entirely up to you how you grow, how fast you grow, how fast you fail. Now, if the one that's growing like this, he's making more money, but he's also having a lot more pitfalls. He has to constantly stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. Whereas this one, he's also making a lot of money, but it's a steady growth rate. It's a steady growth rate. And so again, what are you after? What are you looking for? How are you trying to win? How are you aiming to win? Right? How much pressure can you handle? This one is going through a lot more pressures because there's a lot of bad word of mouth. Because your product, you have to constantly stop and improve it, or stop and tell and make refunds and this and that. Whereas this one, he doesn't have to make a lot of refunds. He might make a refund here and there, but he's steadily growing, steadily improving his product, steadily improving his marketing, steadily improving his sales, steadily improving his systems. Whereas this one has to constantly be paying attention to all the details to make sure that, yeah, you're having those big cash wins and those big cash days, but it is impacting on the word of mouth side of things, right? Because believe it or not, word of mouth is the most powerful marketing. Look at Apple. Why does Apple spread so much? How much money do you think Apple is actually dropping on advertising? Probably not as much as some of their competitors, because they have so much positive word of mouth. Coca-Cola, same thing. Pepsi, the same thing. They might be spending big money on big events like, let's say, the World Cup or the Super Bowl, or during NBA season, whatever the top competition is. But compared to the amount of word of mouth that these guys have, oh, I love Coca-Cola. Oh, I love Apple products. Oh man, if you don't have an Apple product, what are you doing? That word of mouth gets people to buy way more than any dollar you could be spending on marketing. On a long enough time horizon, you will win. But it's also your ability to trust yourself, the amount of risk you're willing to take, your ability to really bet on yourself. Like, I bet on myself a lot of the times. I might not always be correct. I might not always make the right decision. I might not always make the right choice. Sometimes I flip a coin to make certain decisions. But I also understand that's where the epic story comes from. Because a big portion of the things that I do want that epic story. Maybe it takes me longer to reach that goal. Maybe it takes me a lot longer to get to that target. But that's a risk I'm willing to take at this stage. So you need to really be honest with yourself. How much pressure can you handle right now? A lot of you can't even handle the pressures of your job. A lot of you can't even handle the pressures of your day-to-day lives right now. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you don't have kids. Someone with kids is probably able to handle more pressure. Someone with kids is not even able to handle a lot of pressure. So it's, some people will blame their kids. It doesn't matter, because there's somebody else in the same exact situation as you, but their ability to handle pressure is different than yours. You got to really pay attention to a lot of these things, right? And so if you've made it to this point of the video, I hope you have gotten value. I hope the lesson little diagram I have is making sense for you guys. And I'm going to leave it on the screen if you want to look at it. There's really no real notes you need to take from it, but what I want you to take from it is the mental model, the mental framing, the mindset behind all of this. Is understand that you will fail. Understand that you will go through ups and downs. But also understand that it is a bet you are taking against yourself to get through it. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure I'm here, or I'm pretty sure I'm here, right? So I'm somewhere here, but in 5 years, I might consider this phase as over here. In 10 years, I might consider this current phase I'm going through right now as over here, right? Because it's dependent on you. It's entirely dependent on you. So let's say last July, I thought I was like here, last July. So July 2023, I thought I was over here. Then August, I thought I was over here. But now I'm considering that I'm over here, right? I'm pretty sure I'm right here. If not, I might be right here. Right? Like I might be right, like that little dip to go up again, right? But in 5 years from now, I'll be able to have a better understanding and a better acknowledgement of like, so this is actually where I am. Then 50 years from now, right? I'm probably gonna be like, man, when I was 22, I was still over here, right? And then it depends. Like for you, what numbers do you think are over here? right? What numbers are you putting over here? Because I've already had $10,000 a day. I've had a $15,000 a day. The most amount of cash I made in a single day was 17,500 in a single day. So for me, I don't even consider that a lot of money because of the people around me that are making like 100 times that in a day. So for you, that might be a lot. For me, it's not, because of the people that I'm around, the people that I'm constantly talking to. When they're telling me the numbers that they're hitting, I'm like, yeah, that number is nothing. It's literally just $17,000. It could disappear like that. The game of money, the game of entrepreneurship. That's how it is. But you got to pay attention to it. You got to pay attention to everything. Your ability to handle pressure is what determines how quickly you can win. Right? Because getting rich quick is true, is real. Getting rich easy is not. So a lot of people confuse getting rich quick and getting easy. It's not about getting rich easy. It's about getting rich quick. But getting rich quick, what is your definition of quick? Is it 3 years? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Because 10 years goes by like that. Think about this. A lot of you are 17 right now. A lot of you are 20 right now. A lot of you are 30 probably watching this video. A lot of you are 40 probably watching this video. You probably think those last 20 years, like I'm 22, right? I'm 22 right now. And to me, those 22 years is literally like I'm 22. So 10 years, 2 decades already just like that. By the time I'm probably going to be 30 and I'm like, damn, the last 30 years was like this. And so is 10 years that long to set a plan, to set a goal, to set a roadmap? Is 20 years that long to set a plan, to set a goal, to set a roadmap? A lot of you are thinking by weeks. Like, oh, it's like the biggest thing I've talked to one of my boys about is like, yo, these Fridays are coming in faster. The Fridays are coming in like this. Boom, it's already Friday. Like tomorrow is already Friday. I'm like, yo, why are the Fridays coming so fast? But that's also because I'm not paying attention to Fridays. Like, it's not like I want or I'm waiting for next Friday, next Friday, next Friday. No, that's not what it is for me. Because I know I have a 5, 10, 15, 20 year plan. And so because I'm focusing on that as much as I can, I don't always focus on it because I am an extremely impatient person. But I do have a master plan. Even though I take these big risks, these big gambles, I do have a master plan. Right? And it is in effect. It's been in effect the moment that I started creating content on TikTok in 2021. I literally mapped it out. What am I going to be doing at every stage? And then last year, I got more in depth. Last year, I went more in depth. Last year, I just added more details to this master plan. And I extended it to 20 years. But for me saying 20 years, some people are like, 20 years? You're crazy. Yeah, but you don't know what my target is for the 20 years. Like, that's the thing. Like, for me, that 20 year, what I'm trying to achieve by year 20 is not the same thing you're trying to achieve. Right? So for me, I am an extremely ambitious person. A lot of you are probably going to be guessing, oh, what is it? What is it? Like, you're never going to guess it unless I've told you. Maybe I've said it in a previous video. I'm not entirely 100% sure that I did or not. But you guys got to understand that your ability to commit and trust yourself, that you are going to achieve those goals, that you are going to attain those goals, you are going to get to that outcome that you're looking for, is what's ultimately going to determine whether or not you become successful. Your ability to handle stress, your ability to manage pressure, your ability to handle pressure, thrive under pressure. You're not running away from it, but you are running towards pressure. It's a privilege to be able to do that. But that's why you will win, right? Consistency on a long enough time horizon will determine whether or not you win, right? Like, I already stated that I do have a master plan, and nothing I do is random. Like, me dressing like this, it's on purpose because I understand what it's going to lead to 5 years from now. Me uploading a video on YouTube every single day, it's not random. It's not just let me see if I could do it. Yeah, that's part of it. But I also understand what it's going to get me a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, right? So keep in mind, none of this is supposed to be easy. But that's what's awesome about it. Your ability to actually do these things, your ability to actually get things done, your ability to stay consistent over a long enough period of time is why you're going to ultimately win, regardless of what you are after, right? And so I honestly hope that you guys got value out of this video. I didn't think it was going to be long, but it ended up being long because, things happen. But look, if you're tired of, your current situation, but, maybe you're tired of just starting business after business and just seeing no clear success, or maybe you just want to be able to support the ones that you love and or make some extra money on the side for vacations, emergencies, etc. Make sure to subscribe and share this with a friend, and stay tuned. Saturday we're launching a community, so if you're seeing this video after Saturday, you'll probably find a link to join in the description, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe.